Ang pera, alam niyo ba na napakaraming pera circulating or in circulation? Dito lang sa Dagupan City, nung panahon pa ni Director Jaime Lucas, yun dito sa baba, DTI, kaibigan ko kasi yon, late, medyo namatay na po siya. Ang sabi niya, that time, it was siguro mga 1990s or 2000. Ang sabi niya, Pastor, there are about 400 million circulating all over, sabi niya, a day in Dagupan City alone. Pero that was 90s pa. 400 million pesos that is circulating all over Dagupan City alone in daily. So kung ang dami-daming pera na nagsisirculate na yan, if your financial intelligence is so low, kahit may ability ka, talo ka. Ang sabi sa Bible, He gave us the ability to produce wealth. Tama po ba? So we need to increase our ability at the same time, our financial intelligence for us to be able to translate that ability into value, monetary value. Ngayon, tanungin natin ang katabi natin, tanungin natin ang sarili natin. Am I going to, ginagamit ko ba yung aking ability na pinipaired ko ngayon ng financial intelligence? Pwede na? Yun. Sa verse ng Matthew 25, tingnan nyo Old Testament yung binasa natin kanina. Ito, New Testament naman. Ang sabi doon, to the one He gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. Napaka-importante po. Tingnan nyo kukunin natin ang prinsipyo. Walang imposible sa Diyos na payamanin tayo. Is there anything impossible with God? Wala. Pero bakit tayo nagkukulang? May principle kasi. Ano yung principle? Ibibigay niya lang sa atin yung amount ng pera. Tingnan nyo, hindi pare-pareho ang amount ng pera na binigay. Ibibigay niya yung amount ng pera nakadepende sa ability mo. Fair enough ba ang Diyos? Yes. Kasi you cannot handle an amount or big amount of money kung wala kang ability. Sabi ko nga, that huge amount of money, kapag binigay sa iyo ng Diyos, it turns into curse rather than into blessing. Kasi you don't know how to properly use it Parang ganito yun, kahit may bilyones ako sa bahay or sa bangko. Halimbawa, biglang humingi yung anak ko na 4 years old. Sabi niya, Daddy, pwede bang bigyan mo ako ng 1 million ngayon? Hindi ko ibibigay yun. Tama. Bakit? Kasi 4 years old, nangihingi sa iyo ng 1 million? Okay, kunin natin sa perspective ng Diyos. Walang imposible sa Diyos Tama? He owns everything Nanghihingi ka ngayon sa Kanya ng pera na payamanin ka. Do you think ibibigay sa iyo ng Diyos? Yung isa, 5, yung isa, 2, yung isa, 1, according to their ability. So, you need to enhance your ability, discover your ability first, para payamanin ka ng Diyos. Hindi yan nakukuha sa I claim it, I have it in Jesus' name. Medyo binabalance ko lang yung teaching na yun Na, kasi medyo napunta tayo sa extreme na money come to me in Jesus' name. I claim that I will be, the wealth of the wicked will be transferred to the righteous. Medyo na-imbalance tayo doon. We don't know that money has principles in the Bible. Alright, so, yung comparison, parehong ability. In the Old Testament, God gave us the ability. Sa New Testament, ang sabi niya, He gave us according to our ability. So, kayo, ano pong ability ninyo that you can transfer it to wealth? When I came here in Dagupan City, I came here with nothing. Wala ako. Kahit backpack nga lang dala ko dito I struggle financially noong time na yon. Buti na lang yung asawa ko, very supportive. Siya yung nagpaaral ng anak. Siya yung nagbabayad ng bills namin. Lahat. Kasi ang reason ako, pastor, naglilingkod sa Diyos. Pero sabi ko, teka muna, parang pangit tingnan. So I begin to look at myself, have a self-inventory. Then na-find out ko na, kaya pala ako nagkukulang ng pera. Bobo lang talaga ako sa pera noong time niya. Tanungin mong katabi mo, nagkukulang ka ba sa pera? Pareho na tayong bobo. Kamo, at least pare-pareho tayong bobo. Di ba? So, what I did is this. I begin to look and how to increase my financial intelligence. So, I begin to attend seminars. I begin to attend a workshop. Alam niyo, yung workshop na inatinan ko, paid, pero nakikiusap pa ako doon sa trainer. Kasi kaibigan ko yung trainer eh. No, na pwede ba ako mag-sit-in kahit na ano? Siguro sa awa sa akin, ang sabi ko lang, ganito, basta pagdating ng lunch, lalabas na lang ako kasi I still remember Brother Johnny Spirito, no? Napakabait nun eh. Kaya sabi niya, Bob, kasi may training siya, 3 days yun na sunod-sunod, ang sabi ko sa kanya, magsisit-in lang ako. Magsisit-in lang ako. Tapos sabi niya, okay lang yan, pastor. Sabi niya, basta pagdating ng kainan, lalabas na lang ako kasi hindi, ang bayad nung time na yun, 3,700, isang participant. Ako, nakikisit-in just to increase my knowledge about finances. So, I attended, I read books, I begin to increase my financial intelligence. Nung tumataas yung financial intelligence ko, napapansin ko, mas nagiging easy kumita ng pera. Hindi na ganun struggle. Pastor ako. Tapos nung paunti-unti, ako na yung nagbabayad ng kuryente. Kuryente yun, honey, no? Kuryente. So nakakatulong na ako sa asawa ko nung time na yon. Tapos maya-maya, tubig, kinukuha ko na. Siya, sige, ikaw na ganito, ganyan-ganyan. So, hanggang to the point na nung mag-high school na yung bunso ko, tapos mag-college na yung anak ko, sabi ko sa kanya, I will be shouldering their education. Ngayon, nag-graduate po sila, hindi ho kami nag-promissory note. And today, literally, tingnan nyo pag meron akong gustong bilhin na isang bagay, na isang gamit, I can buy it. Hindi dahil marami akong pera sa bangko. The difference is, I can create money. That's what I'm going to tell you. Kaya ko kayo ini-equip so that hindi nyo kailangang may bilyones sa bangko. Ang kailangan nyo lang, marunong kayong gumawa ng pera every time you needed money. Kasi hindi pwede namang ang dami-dami nating pera. Masama yun tapos ibinangko mo lang at masama yun sa ekonomiya mo. Later on, pag-usapan natin yun. No? So, wala na naman to. Ano ba talaga? Yan. Pakiclick na lang yan, mga anak. Are you doing something? Yan. Sa history, yan. Nung Hunter's Age, ito sinabi ko na, yung Hunter's Age, basically lahat ng tao mahirap. Kasi naghahunting lang sila eh. Tama? Alright. Pagkatapos nung Hunter's Age, nagpumasok yung Agricultural Age. From yung era na yan, yung transition, dati, hunters is gathering or gatherers era. Pagkatapos nito, naging agricultural era. Natutong mag-alaga ng hayop, natutong magtanim, yung mga tao. Naging dalawang klase yung tao, which is poor and rich. So, tingnan niyo yung transition, from poor sa Hunter's Age, naging dalawa, naging tinatawag nating rich and poor. Naging dalawang klase. Tapos noon ay pumasok yung Industrial Age, yung baby boomers. Pagdating ng Industrial Age, naging tatlo yung classification ng tao. Poor, rich, pumasok yung middle class. Yung mga middle class, sila yung nag-aalaga. Sila yung empleyado. Okay? Pero pagdating ng age of information, which is today, naging apat. rich, a poor, middle class, rich, and super rich. Lahat nung nakasakay sa technology, naging super rich. Elon Musk, Jack Ma, Mark Zuckerberg, lahat nun nakasakay. So, itong panahon natin ngayon, pwedeng kumita yung high school, natalo niya ang doktor sa pagkita ng pera. Nakuha nyo? Yung isang taong ni hindi high school graduate na walang pinag-aralan, daig niya yung income ng isang professional or kahit na skilled professionals. Tingnan niyo si Wamos. Di ba? So, this information era, madalas kong sinasabi, na balance ang playing field in the area of money. Hindi mo kailangan graduate. Hindi ko sinabing huwag kayong mag-aral, ha? Mamaya, di-discuss natin yan. Hindi mo kailangan graduate. Hindi mo kailangan magaling sa academics for you to be able to be financially secured. Because all doors now are open. Gusto mo sumikat ngayon? Hindi mo kailangan mag-apply sa ABS-CBN, sa GMA. Kumuha ka ng cellphone mo. Pag nakagather ka ng maraming followers, sikat ka na. So, all playing field right now in the area of money are even. So, this is our opportunity now. Nakuha nyo? Opportunity natin ngayon. Kapag hindi natin kinuha yan, talo tayo. And this is the major reason why the people of the kingdom of God, which is the church today, are suffering in the area of finances. It is not because lack of money. It is because lack of intelligence in the area of money. That's why I'm doing this coaching. No, paulit-ulit na ako. Ang dami-dami ko nang ginagawa. Wala akong pakialam kung anong sasabihin sa akin ng iba. Ang importante is I can help you to succeed in this area. Dalawa lang naman ang problema natin sa mundong ito eh. Ano yung problema natin? The things that money can buy and the things that money can't buy. Nakuha nyo? So, ano ang rules natin ngayon? So, what makes these people rich sa tingin ninyo? Di ba? Wisdom? Tama po ba? Wisdom. Yan, ayaw na naman ng wisdom. Pakiclick all dyan. Yan. Wisdom. Pero alam nyo ba na yung size ng wisdom natin is always equal to the size of our income? So the income that you have today is just a manifestation of wisdom that you're using. So magkano ang income mo? So ang manifestation lang ng wisdom, income, na meron ka. Pag maliit yung income na meron ka ngayon, ibig sabihin maliit yung wisdom na ginagamit mo. Nakuha natin? So I focus more. Ang kaibahan ng wisdom sa knowledge ito. Ang knowledge is knowing. Wisdom is applying. Kasi maraming tao na may knowledge eh. Punta kayo sa academics. Tingnan nyo, mga professor nagtuturo ng business administration, business management. Di ba? Pero tanungin nyo sila, do you have business, sir? Sabi nila, wala. So, they have knowledge, they are knowledgeable, no wisdom. Tingnan nyo, marami sa atin, you have a degree of engineering, you have a degree of architecture, you have a degree of business management. But where are you? Asan kayo? Employee. Hindi ko sinabing masama. I will discuss that later. Maganda yan. Pero are you using your wisdom? Kasi pag ginamit mo yung wisdom mo, if you are an engineer today, you're supposed to be, meron kang big firm ng construction. Because that's the main purpose. Kasi ang sabi sa Bible, you will be the head and not the tail. That's what the Bible says to the people of God. So, pag nag-graduate ka ng medicine, hindi ka lang magiging doktor. Dapat maging may-ari ka ng hospital. Financial intelligence yun. Pero kapag manatili kang doktor, for the rest of your life, professional ka, pero mababa, yun yung sinabi ni Brother Joey kanina, mababa yung financial intelligence mo. Alright? So, financial intelligence is the ability to understand how the money works. Can I ask you a personal question? What do you do with your money? Spend for the daily necessities. Spend for the bills. That's wrong. Because the main purpose why the Lord gave you money, doon sa kanina, binasa natin kanina, basahin nyo yung Matthew 25, parable of the talent. Kinomend nung master yung nagdouble. Yung 5 naging 10, yung 2 naging 4. Ang sabi ng Lord sa kanilang master nila, good and faithful servant. Pero doon sa hindi niya pinagalaw ang pera niya, sinave niya. Dinala niya lang sa bangko at wala siyang pakialam. Basta nandoon lang. Nung dumating yung master niya, tinurn over niya uli. Anong sabi sa kanya ng master niya? You wicked and lazy servant. I can conclude today why we are suffering in the area of money because many of us are lazy in this area. Eh sabi ng Bible, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to what? Prosper. Not to harm you, to give you hope in a future. So if you are now 40 years old, 30 years old, and nothing is happening yet to your life, may problema ka, kapatid. You are not following the standard and the principle of the Bible in the area of money, why you are not getting rich or getting wealthy. Ang tawag doon, financially bobo. Ito yan Noong 1971, yung rules ng pag-iimprenta ng dollar, binago ni Richard Nixon. From gold standard to supply and demand. Dati, nag-iimprenta ang Federal Reserve ng dollar kapag merong gold. Pero binago yan noong 1971. Ginawang, mag-imprenta na tayo ng dollar kahit walang gold reserve. Ang gawin na lang natin is promise ng government na magiging mabuti at maayos tayo. So from money, ang tawag na ngayon, currency. So doon sa currency pa lang may pagkakaiba na. Kasi ang ibig sabihin ng currency or current, ang ibig sabihin moving. Or being used to something. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng current. So yung pera na meron tayo ngayon, mga kapatid, very simple. How it works, paano at tamang anong gawin natin? So, ang pera na hindi gumagalaw is a dead money. So, inintroduce ko na to sa inyo ngayon. So, when you have money today and you put that in the bank at pinagstay mo dyan nang hindi nagmumove, ang tawag dyan, dead money. Whether you like it or not, somebody is going to use it for their advantage. Your money, but their advantage. Who? The rich people. The rich people are using poor people's money for their advantage. Kinukuha nila yun. Niloloan nila yun. Kinukuha nila and use it. Kaya nga, after 1971, the rules begin to change. Borrowers are winners, savers are losers. Bakit? Tingnan nyo ha. Ang bangko, when you deposited your money in them, actually you are not depositing your money. Pinapahiram mo sa kanila ang pera. Pag hindi ginamit ng bangko yon for their advantage, your savings becomes their liability. Kasi kailangan nilang paikutin yun para kumita sila eh. So tingnan mo ha, ang definition pa lang iba. Your savings to the bank is their liability. Pero ikaw, ang definition mo ng savings mo, asset mo yon. Pero sa kanila, liability yon. Yung utang mo na binigay ng bangko, yun ang asset nila. Kasi kikita sila sa utang mo. May interest sila. Doon pa lang makikita natin ang diferensya. To the bank, your savings are their liability, but their asset is your debt, yung utang mo. Kaya sandamakmak ang credit cards na binibigay ngayon. Kahit hindi ka nag-a-apply, may biglang darating na credit card sa'yo. Why? Because this is the rules of the game of money. Ma-identify natin. Ano yun? Ito yung old rules na pinapractice natin until now. Explain ko na yan sa inyo. Ito yung new rules. They keep the money moving. Tingnan niyo po when the bank promises you of 2.5% per annum doon sa inyong time deposit, kung may 1 million ka, yung 2.5 times 1 million, magkano? Magkano yun? Sige, compute tayo. 1 million times 2.5%. 25,000. Times 5. So, in 5 years, your money will turn to 1.125. Tama? 1.250. Di ba? Tama yon. Less withholding tax. Kasi may tax yun eh. That's 20%. Tama? Tingnan niyo po. So, you thought that you earn money in 5 years ng 200, sabihin na, 250. Halimbawa. So, 1.2. Tama? Pero, ang kalaban mo, inflation. Sa 5 years, tumaas, let's say, ng average ng 3%. Ang magiging purchasing power ng pera mo na 1.2 million, ang kaya niya na lang bilhin is 100 or kaya 900,000. You win in number, but you win in power. Talo ka rin. Kaya marami nagsasuffer. Because we are being used by elite. Use our money for their advantage. Ito matindi nun. If you keep your 1 million moving, sisiguraduhin ko sa iyo, in 1 year time yon. Tingnan mo ako ito yung ano ko. Meron akong 1 million, bumili ako ng produkto, let's say LED wall. Bumili ako ng 2 LED wall, tig for 500,000. Yung tutubuin ko halimbawa, bawat LED wall, 200,000. Sa isang deal ko, wala pang isang quarter, may 400,000 ako. Plus the 1 million. Sa loob ng isang taon, I can make double or triple the 1 million by keeping my money moving and working. You got the point? So if you don't keep your money moving and let it stay in the bank, you will lose that. So ito yung why we are struggling with money. Kasi lack of financial intelligence. Anyone who are not working or not making their money work for them are financially illiterate people. At ayoko maging ganun kayo. So, yun yung curses nun. So, pwede ko na pong ibigay sa inyo yung bagong topic natin ngayon, which is, binigyan ko lang kayo ng introduction. Ito yung choice natin. The freedom of choice that money offers can define the difference between eating healthy and unhealthy food. Alam nyo, lalo na yung mga pastor, kami, ako magmula nung kaya kong bumili, halimbawa naimbitahan ako sa kasalan, tapos unhealthy yung food. Pag wala kang choice, pag wala kang pera, wala kang choice kundi kainin. Kasi laman tiyan yun eh. Pag namimili ka sa palengke, tingnan mo, wala kang choice kundi yung kaya ng pera mo, pero minsan, hindi na healthy food. Kasi wala kang pera eh. Guys, minsan lang tayo mabubuhay sa mundong ito. Minsan lang. Make it sure that you will live a life na design ng Diyos sa atin. So kapag may in-offer sa aking food at unhealthy food, kain lang ako konti. Pero kakain ako sa restaurant ng tamang food. May choice ka eh. Tama po ba? So, money gives us choice. Lack of money will give us no choice. Kayo yun. Kung gusto mo, pero wala namang problema. Pare-pareho naman tayong papasok ng langit. Wala namang problema yon eh. Pero, kung ako, gusto ko yung may choice. Diba? Ayan. So, punta po tayo doon sa, thank you, binigyan ko lang kayo ng konting I will be discussing to you, sabi ko kanina may new rules in the game of money, tama? Yung kasunod nito is let's study further about the 7 rules of money. Para kapag tayo po ay nagwo-work na and we let our money work for us, we know the 7 rules. Paano natin iti-take advantage? Welcome, Pastor Jun. Iti-take advantage yung 7 rules. Very, very important to. Kasi marami sa atin, minsan may nakausap ako, wala talaga siyang idea na kailangan pala magkaroon ng financial education. Sabi ko, well, pareho naman tayo. Pareho naman tayo noon. Wala rin akong idea. Ang alam ko lang mag-aral ng Bible. Kasi gusto kong pumasok ng langit. Alright. So, umpisahan po natin about the rules. Can we read this together? Ready, go? Money has rules. So if we are living in lack today, the answer is very, very clear. We are ignorant of the rules of the game of money. Guys, kahit anong super sipag mo, kahit makapag-ipon ka pa ng marami, pagdating na ikaw ay magre-retire na, babalik at babalik ka sa kahirapan or sa kakulangan dahil ignorante ka pagdating sa pera. And I don't want you to happen that to you. I want you to become financier of God's kingdom. Ang tawag natin dito, to get wealthy with purpose. Tama po ba? Well, dun sa unang manual natin, yung manual may notes dyan, pwede nyo sulatan ng mga insights na lumalabas sa atin because hindi ko naman pwedeng maisulat lahat dyan. Individuals live in lack because they have no knowledge of money, its rules, and how it flows. These rules establish the standards, mechanics, and the do's and don'ts. Violating them results in consequences or penalties for the offender. Marami po sa atin, we become offender that we do not know. Kaya ang pinaka-end result is to live struggling in the area of money. Ang sabi ko nung mga past coaching, very simple. We do not have problems with printed money circulating around us because there's so much money circulating. What we lack is ideas on how to make this money to be delivered in our pocket. Hindi tayo nag-iisip ng idea. Tamad na tayo mag-isip ng idea. Tingnan nyo the first thing I did to beat at least yung ma-level up yung aking financial illiteracy noong time na yon. Sabi ko, so I attended training like this, and then I read books about finances. Pero nung execution na, sabi ko, anong gagawin ko? So what I did is to look at my ability. Ang alam ko lang naman noon, talagang tumugtog ng instrumento, tsaka mag-preach. So sabi ko, wala ka naman pumunta ako sa bar para tumugtog. Nakakahiya naman yun, pastor, nasa bar tumutugtog, di ba? So inalis ko yung idea na yon. Then I got an idea. Sabi ko, magsulat kaya ako ng libro patungkol sa how to play the musical instruments. So ang target people ko is the people in the church who wanted to know how to play instruments. Ang malaki kong struggle, hindi ako marunong magsulat ng libro. At hindi ako marunong mag-English. Alam niyo ginawa ko? Sabi ko, ba't di ko sulat ng Tagalog? Sinulat ko ng Tagalog ngayon. Nung pagsulat ko ng Tagalog, ay nagustuhan naman ng mga tao. Ang problema ko ngayon, paano ibenta? So I think another idea. Sabi ko, maraming pera, pero paano ako makakakurot ng kahit konti? Tingnan niyo kung ano idea. Sabi ko, nag-isip na naman ako idea, pray, and then thinking of ideas. Alam niyo kung ano idea na pumasok sa akin? To conduct a free seminar all over the Pangasinan. Kaya ang dami kong na-produce na magagaling na musician. Kilala nila ako doon. May mga major concert dito ng mga estudyante ko ang mga tumugtog. Free ang seminar but you have to buy the book for your manual. Oh, galing, no? Kung may 300 na umattend, may 300 books kaagad ako. Alam nyo, yung kasama ko na nagtuturo, si Sister Alma yun yung kapatid ni Pastor Raul, yung kasama ko nagtuturo, nakagraduate siya ng college dahil kasasama niya sa akin. Dahil siyempre, pagkatapos namin mag-seminar, bibigyan ko siya ng pera. Yun yung baon niya, yun yung pan-tuition fee niya, nakagraduate ng college yun. Then I begin, sabi ko, oo nga So it's just an idea. So if you don't think of ideas, you have financial troubles ahead. Tanongin mo yung katabi mo, ano yung financial trouble mo? One major consequence of ignorance about the rules of money is that financial struggles can be passed down through generation. Kapag bobo ka sa pera, may 70 to 80% that your children bobo rin sa pera. Kaya yung poverty can be passed through generation. Tingnan niyo yung mga kababayan nating maliliit ang mata pero laki kita. Yung mga iiksi apelyido. Prosperity is also transferred to generation to generation. If you're not going to equip yourself today, your children and your children's children will live in poverty. Kayo lang yun. Bahala kayo. Choice niyo yan. Do you want to pass the same quality of life Your children? Nasa inyo yan. Kayo yan. Nasa inyo. This cycle will only be broken when someone receives the correct information, intelligence yon, understand it, and is able to apply it effectively. Financially illiterate individuals may pass on poor money habits to their children, perpetuating the cycle of financial hardship. Yung anak ko, maghihirap. Yung apo ko, maghihirap. Unless you break that mentality today. I should be learning about finances. May warning tayo. If a person is unaware of or ignores financial principles, they are likely to encounter financial difficulties or scarcity. Living with limited resources, poverty is not simply a lack of money, but stems from ignorance about money. So poverty is an end result of ignorance about money. So what I did is I began to study, train. Until now, uma-attend po ako ng mga paid seminars ng mga international. Just to equip myself. Pero meron akong laging one thought, one mindset. I will never leave a seminar na wala akong dala-dala pa uwi. Na wala akong ideyang nakukuha. So, limited understanding of these principles will end up with more financial difficulties that will affect the quality of life. All right, the importance of financial. Ito sabi ni Robert Kiyosaki, kapag may mga pagkakataon kayong bumili ng mga personal finance, you buy his book. Kasi very personal finance kasi siya no? Ang sabi niya, without a basic financial education, long-term financial security is almost impossible. Long-term financial security. Kaya nga, okay, puntahan natin yung why ano itong education system natin, the Prussian education. The Prussian education, ito po ay this education system developed in early 19th century in Prussia, now part of Germany, was one of the first modern state-controlled public education system. Tingnan nyo noong 19th century lang, itinuro yung tinatawag na public-controlled education system. Kasi ang education system noon is home-based. Ang mga nagtuturo sa mga bata, mga magulang. Tingnan nyo kung ano yung knowledge, kung ano yung values, kung ano yung culture nung nanay at tatay, siya ang itinuturo at tinatransfer sa mga anak. Kaya kapag ang nanay at tatay ay financially educated, mataas yung kanilang intelligence, yun yung naitatransfer nila sa kanilang mga anak. Kapag illiterate pagdating sa finances, same ang naitatransfer. Kaya from generation to generation. Noong 19th century, ito ang nangyari. Was one of the first modern state-controlled public education system. It emphasizes universal compulsory schooling with structure aimed to create. Tingnan nyo kung ano ang aim nito. to create disciplined, obedient citizens and skilled workers to support the state and the economy. Its principles influence many education system, maski sa atin ngayon, worldwide, particularly in establishing formal schooling as a public responsibility. Ano ang purpose? Ang purpose ng Prussian education is to train and produce good employees, soldiers, and many more who is always financially in need. Our educational system today, hindi ko sinabing mali, mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan, are meant to train middle-class people who will help the rich to get richer, but you to stay as middle-class people. Tingnan nyo, nagtuturo ng business administration. Pagkatapos, sasabihin nila, gumawa ka ng resume at maghanap ka ng trabaho. Pagka-graduate mo. Pero yung mga inchik, pag nagturo sila sa mga anak nila, anak, mag-aral ka, pero pagkatapos, magnegosyo ka. Tingnan niyo yung kaibahan ng home dun sa state control. Hindi ko sinabing masama. But this Prussian way of education are created to train workers, people who will work for economy to grow, who will work for the elite, will work for the company owns by rich people. Hindi masama dahil tinulungan nila tayo mag-elevate. But this is only designed for us to work as a middle class people. This system is created to ensure that there would be enough supply of working force. Tingnan nyo, you work 8 hours a day. Tama po ba? At hindi ka pwedeng mag-work in a certain company kapag hindi ka nag-graduate na ganito. Though that is good for the poor people, at least to level up to the middle class, but alam nyo, sa totoo lang, today, in the era of information, middle class people are vanishing. They turn into a poor or level up to the rich category. Pero konti lang nakakadating doon. It's up to you. Where you? Saan kayo? Saan nyo i-level up yung sarili nyo? Sabi ng PSA, PSA lang. Eto, binasa ko yung sinabi ng PSA. For you to be considered as middle class people, you need to have an income of 37,000 pesos a month. Individual. So kung meron kang 4 na tao na nandoon sa loob ng bahay ninyo, kailangan mo ng 37,000 times 4 for you to be considered as middle class people. Do you have 37,000 pesos a month? So if you are not earning 37,000 pesos a month, then you are in the category of poor, not on middle class. Sabihin na natin 40,000 times 4. Magkano yun? 160. So kung 4 kayo sa pamilya mo, kailangan may 160 kayo a month na kinikita. Ano yung katabi? Meron ka ba nun? About this system, this education system was created to train reliable employees, soldiers, and other workers to ensure steady supply of manpower, allowing the economy controlled by the elite to function smoothly. Essentially, this type of education was designed primarily for the middle class. The introduction of this state-controlled education system gave rise to the middle-class workforce. It successfully produced well-disciplined workers and who served the wealthy, contributing to the enrichment of the elite. Nung nabasa ko ito, bigla akong parang binuhusan ng tubig. Kaya pala sabi ko, ang mga mayayaman, lalong yumayaman. Ang mga maghihirap ay lalong naghihirap. It is because they lack of understanding about the system today. Let's go to Federal Reserve. Bakit natin yung Federal Reserve ang pinag-aaralan natin? Kasi ang accepted na currency sa buong mundo, hindi peso, hindi pound, hindi yen. If you're going to transact oil, you're going to use US dollar. If you're going to transact, ang aking mga suppliers ay China. If you're going to transact with China, ang kailangan mo is the US dollar. Kaya umiiyak ako kapag ang taas ng dollar kahapon. The highest. The lowest naman ng piso, 59.44. Di ba? Yun ay ang bili ng bangko. Pero pag bibilihin ko na yun para ipambayad, that is 60 plus. So kung magbabayad ka sa kanila at ang ibabayad mo ay worth 500,000, let's say 100,000 or $5,000, plus yung dagdag na yun, that's a big difference. Sabi nga ng kaibigan ko, okay lang yan sa Pilipinas. Kasi sabi niya maraming nagpapadala ng dollar. But yung nagpapadala ng dollar sa atin, sabi ko, it's only a part of our economy, but the entire economy is run by this system. If our peso is weakened, ang ibig sabihin, mahihina tayo. And no one among the international investors will trust the Philippines kasi bagsak tayo. You got my point? So, ito yung purpose. Bakit? Ang purpose ng Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. Tingnan niyo po As the central banking system of the United States, its purpose is to provide the country with a safer, more flexible and stable monetary and financial system. The Federal Reserve regulates banks, manage the nation's money, supply, control inflation, and work to promote economic stability and growth. Tingnan nyo, ang purpose nila is to print money. O hindi ba ganun din ang trabaho ng central bank natin? Mag-imprenta ng pera. Ang sabi ko sa inyo, under the new rules of the game of money today, the central bank will print money. Tingnan nyo not because we have gold reserve, but because it is according to supply and demand. Ipoproject nila kung magkano ang kakailanganin na demand ng ating Pilipinas next year at yun ang iimprenta nilang peso at yun ay pawawalan. Halimbawa, kailangan ng 1 trillion peso next year, yun yung demand. Projected demand ang tawag doon. Yun yung iimprenta nilang pera at pawawalan yun sa ekonomiya. Yung ihahalo yun sa nagsisirculate na marami ng pera sa atin. Yung marami at malaki ang idea, siya ang makakahakot nung nagsisirculate na pera. Kaya yung mga business tycoons, ang bilis nilang mag-gather ng pera kasi marami na silang idea. Bago pawalan yung pera in circulation, mga kapatid, marami na silang idea. So, they got a lot of percentage nung perang in circulation. Tayo hindi. Nag-iisip lang tayo, paano natin tatapusin ang araw na ito. Kaya nga, poor people, when they talk together, they talk about other people. But the rich people, when they have coffees and they talk over the table, they talk about ideas on how to make more money. Ano yung katabi mo? Ikaw, ano idea mo? To make money. Kung nagdi-devotion kayo, isama nyo sa devotion nyo. Kasi money is a spiritual thing. Hindi po yan worldly. Kasi mas maraming verse ang sinabi sa Bible tungkol sa pera. Mas marami sa prayer, mas marami sa holiness, mas marami sa commitment, mas marami sa lahat-lahat ng topic. Money has, sabi ko nga, tinaasan niya, tinalo niya lahat ng verses. Why? Because money will reveal your true identity, your true character. Tingnan mo, pag ang tao may pera na, lumalabas, kapag masama siya, lumalabas ang kasamaan. Kapag ang tao mabuti, kapag may pera siya, lalong lumalabas ang kabutihan. So it reveals the true character of man. Tingnan mo yung mga taong, tingnan mo, nung nagkapera siya, nagkaroon ng 2-3 asawa, kasi noon, hindi lang siya makapag-asawa, wala siyang tool. Ano sabi ko nga, money is like a knife, a tool. When the knife landed to the hands of a chef, it becomes a powerful tool. But when that same knife landed to the hands of criminal, that same knife will become an evil tool. So there's no problem with money. There's no problem with knife. Ang may problema, yung may hawak. That's why I am committed to train godly people to get wealthy. Why? Kasi righteous tayo eh. Kapag may pera tayo, righteousness abounds this nation. Tingnan niyo si Manny Pacquiao. Nagpagawa ng 300 houses. Pinamigay ng libre. Pero in one condition, gumawa ako ng malaking church dito. You come to church on Sunday. Punta kayo sa General Santos, makita nyo. Ang laki nung kanyang pinagawang church building doon. Super! Ang ganda! Sino umaten? Yung pinamigyan niya ng bahay. The only condition is to go to church every Sunday. He literally buying soul. Kung namimili ng kaluluwa ang demonyo para dalhin sa impyerno, bakit hindi ka mamili? Paano ka mamimili kung wala kang pambili? So I just want you to know, we have no problem with money because it is only printed. Ang problema natin, we do not think. Sabi ko nga sa yung mga if you do not write an idea a day, kahit a single idea a day, to make money, to improve your life, you're making your life in jeopardy. If you do not make or write an idea a day to earn money, to make your life better, you are putting your life in jeopardy. So dapat araw-araw nag-iisip ka ng idea. Ano yung katabi mo? Ano idea mo? And then another purpose is to control. Tingnan nyo to make money and to control money. Alam nyo ang ating economy ngayon? Grabe. Nakadepende ito, yung world economy, nakadepende ito sa sasabihin ng governor ng Federal Reserve. Pag nag-announce ang governor ng Federal Reserve that next month, we will have a change of our interest, nako, bago dumating yung month na yun, naggagalawan na lahat ng currency sa buong mundo. Pag sinabi ng Federal Reserve na magtataas kami ng interest by next month ng 1%, lahat ng kalaban ng dollar, boom, 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 nagbabagsakan na yan. Bakit? Because demands of more dollars. Kasi ang lahat ng mga business people all over the world will transfer their account into a dollar account. Kaya mas marami ang manghihingi ng dollar. Marami ang mangangailangan. Pag marami ang nangangailangan, konti ang supply, what will happen? The purchasing power of dollar Go high. Another, gustong-gusto ng Amerika ang may gera. Because every time that there was a security threat, the purchasing and the power of dollars becomes stronger. Why? Kasi ang lahat ng mga business people all over the world, kasi may security threat, the only acceptable currency is dollar, bibili sila ng dollar ngayon. Ita-transfer nila yung kanilang mga account into a dollar account. What will happen? Dadami na naman ang demand. Kaya pag dumami ang demand, tataas na naman, magiging stronger ang dollar. Ano mangyayari sa ibang currency? Ilalampaso niya. Tingnan nyo. Every time that was the security threat, kaya gustong-gusto ng Amerika may gera. Gusto nilang pataasin ang ekonomiya nila, manggigera sila. Akala nyo, hero sila, no? Tingnan nyo, nung hinanap nila si Saddam Hussein, that time bagsak ang ekonomiya ng Amerika. Binintangan lang nila na may weapon of mass destruction si Saddam Hussein. Pero nung nahuli nila, hanggang ngayon walang weapon of mass destruction. The only purpose is magkaroon ng giyera para tumaas ang ekonomiya nila. Control. Can I ask you something? Kung yung Bangko Sentral natin magpiprint at magkokontrol lang ng pera, ba't ka natatakot? Okay? May nakaharang ba? Pakiclick uli natin. Brother Joey, sabihin mo sa akin kapag kaano na ako, ha? Sige. Andiyan na ba yan? Yan na yan? Alright. So let's go to the page. Sino ang main player natin? Basahin muna natin sa player natin. Ang player natin is the poor, the middle class, and the rich and super rich people. Okay, punta muna tayo dito. Old rules and new rules. Okay, the old rules is for ordinary people. Sabi mo nga, ordinary people. Ano yung old rules natin? Sabi ko sa inyo kanina, study hard, finish your degree, get a high-paying job, diversify your money, invest into a financial plan, and then wait until you retire. That's rules are for ordinary people. Sige, pakiclick. Ang new rules is for the elite, for rich people. Ano yun? Tingnan nyo ha, the Chinese people learn their financial literacy on their parents. Our financial system, our educational system, we learn finances in state-controlled universities or state-controlled academics, institutions. Tama? Anong tinuturo sa atin? Finish your degree, get a high-paying job, get a job, save your money, and retire. That's they are teaching us. So that rules belongs to ordinary people. Pero sa rich people learn finances at home, keep the money moving and working, never put it to sleep, invest to gain ideas, use other people's money. Bigyan ko kayo ng sample. Walang mga financially intelligent people nang hindi nangungutang. Because their purpose is to use people's money for their advantage. In these new rules, savers are losers, borrowers are winners. Sino ang main player? Sige, main player natin. Paki-click mo. The poor. Sige, isang click pa. The poor are essentially the victims. Can you say victim? In the game of money, their lack of knowledge about the rules places them at disadvantage. Despite their hard work, they are unable to succeed because new rules have been introduced, rules they still know very, very little about. Hanggang ngayon, hindi nila alam. Tingnan nyo, sabi lang nila, kailangan hardworking ka. Pero hindi sila yumayaman. Kahit sa super hard worker sila. Ang example ko nga dyan, tingnan niyo yung jeepney driver. Nag-umpisa yun, binata pa siya. Ngayon may apo na siya. Hanggang ngayon, jeepney driver pa rin siya. Hard worker yan. Look at the farmers today. They are very, very hard worker. Pero patay na sila, mamamatay na sila, they're still in that position, still farmers. At maghihirap pa rin. May nakausap ako isang farmer na kinotes ko dyan sa San Carlos. Super yaman na ngayon. Nung nag-usap kami, alam mo, pastor, sabi niya, ang problema ko ang mura ng palay. Can you give me water, please? Ang mura ng palay. Meron siyang 5 hectares. So habang nangihingi siya, nagpapacoach siya sa akin, sabi ko, ang mura, yes, mura ang palay. Sabi ko, bakit mo binebenta ng palay? Mura pala ang palay. Anong mahal? Bigas. Sabi ko sa kanya, nakaka-order ng maliit na kiskisan ngayon. Yung lahat ng inani mo, huwag mong ibentang palay. Kiskisin mo. At gawin mong bigas. Ngayon, may sarili na siyang warehouse. Meron sarili na siyang kiskisan dyan sa San Carlos area. At lahat ng palay doon, siya nang namimili. Dahil binigyan lang siya ng idea. Oo nga no, pastor, ang tagal ko ng ganito eh. Bakit ngayon ka lang dumating? Nagbigay lang ako sa kanya ng glimpse of idea. Kaya ka naghihirap kasi biktima ka, hindi ka nag-iisip. Anong ginagawa niyo sa sweldo niyo? Anong ginagawa niyo sa kita niyo? Ako, yung asawa ko, magte-testify yan. Minsan nakita niya, madami akong pera. Sabi niya sa akin, uy, mamili naman tayo. Ang dami mong pera. Alam mo, sabi ko, ito, siya magte-testify, Han, hindi ko to pera. Akin yon. Han, hindi ko to pera. Kailangan kong paikutin to. I need to make my money moving and working so that I could at least defeat my enemies. Ano yun? Predators of money. Inflation, tax, lahat. Doon sa book number 1 ko, doon sa Game of Money, andun yung lahat ng predators. O, di ba binigyan kita ng nabasa mo na ba? I mentioned there the predators na hindi natin alam. So, the victims are always the poor people. Ito matindi. Majority of our population in the Philippines are poor. 10% of our total population holds the 90% of the total wealth of the Philippines. Ganyan ang wealth distribution dito. 10% of our population, kung ang ating populasyon ay 100 million, only 10%. Ilan yon? Hindi, 10 million. Tama? Only 10 million people holds the total 90% of our total wealth. Kaya dito sa Pilipinas, pag mayaman ka, masyado ka mayaman. The remaining 10% of the total wealth, nag-aagawan yung 90% ng total population natin. The distribution of wealth here in the Philippines is not balanced. Why? Kasi ang daming biktima. They are playing the game of money. They played the game of money. They know nothing about the rules. If you play a game, the first thing that you will understand first is to know the rules. Kasi pag nag-play ka ng game and you do not know the rules, what will happen to you? You always lose. Number 2 is the middle class. The middle class are the prisoners. Why did I say that? Middle class people are often academically bright and believe they can overcome poverty through education. They work hard to seize opportunities, but they may not realize that their efforts and achievements primarily contribute to the success of the wealthy they work for. In this way, they become prisoners, not behind bars, but confined to their offices, bound to work 8 hours a day, exhausting their energy and ideas for the benefit of the company or for the elite people. If you're not going to work it out, you will be working for the rest of your life. Okay? Paki-click, double-click, the rich and the super rich people. The rich are the winners and the super rich are the champions. They champion the money. They are winners and champions in the game of money because they master both the rules and the game itself. Tingnan nyo ha, they master both the rules and the game itself. Huge amount of money flow naturally into their bank accounts due to their bright ideas executed by talented middle-class employees. They are in complete control of the game of money, which make them even richer. So if you're not aware of this, you will be a prisoner or you will be a victim for the rest of your life. And I decided to level up. Sabi ko, I need to inform myself. I need to educate myself. I need to go further, at least to be a winner or to be a champion. Kayo yun. Sabihin mo sa katabi mo, it's your choice. Pakiclick ulit. Rules of winning. Can we read this together? In the game of money, is first determined by understanding the rules and second, by mastering the game itself. Kaya nga, financial literacy is not theoretical. Financial literacy involves engagement. If you want to know and learn about money, engage. Study and apply. Kung meron kang 100 piso, learn to make that 100 pesos move and work. Kung ang kaya niyang bilhin ay isang platitong mani lang para gawin mong 200 mamayang hapon, do it. Because that's what we call involvement, engagement. Kaya yung mga taong merong mindset that their money must be working for them, tingnan nyo, hindi yan tumitigil. They invest. Nakaipon lang ng 10,000 yan. Nag-iisip na kaagad yan kung paanong paiikutin at paanong invest. And that makes them rich today. Sabi mo sa katabi mo, ikaw lang. I don't have millions in the bank. Kapag meron akong konting pera, nag-iisip ako ng idea. Paano ko ito mag-work? And I don't care if I lose it. You know why? Kasi kahit hindi ko rin gastusin yon at gastusin doon sa paiikutin ko, I will lose it. Another way. Bibili ako ng ganito, pamimili ko yon, bukas yon. Wala na. Kaya nga sabi ko, most of us are spending our money and turning it into trust. Pili mo ng groceries yan. Pagkain mo bukas yan. Pag upo mo sa CR, trust na yan. So the big percentage of our money are turning to trust rather than turning into cash. Ako, kahit malugi ako, I will invest into that. Why? Kasi kapag ako nalugi dyan, what I am getting from there is wisdom. Lesson. That when I repeat the process, I will not be repeating the same mistake again. So I will level up. Pag nag-level up ang wisdom ko, the size of my wisdom is always equal to the size of my income. So when I invested it there and I lose it, I will get the lesson, repeat the process, and do not commit the same mistake again. Nagle-level up ako ngayon. So pag na-lose ko siya, what I get is wisdom that will turn over cash later. Pero when I lose it to buying things na wala ang magte-turn over na wisdom sa akin, so whether you like it or not, you will lose it. So you must be willing to lose it that will turn over wisdom to you. Mukhang tahimik kayong lahat, no? Our economic status is defined by how we play this game. Those truly succeed are declared winners, are the ones who accumulate wealth by knowing the rules and making smart, strategic moves. The key is not just playing, but playing with purpose and knowledge. Tingnan nyo, when I engage in business, my primary objective is not to earn money. When I engage in business, my primary objective is to learn how to make money. So the difference between the two is, when I nalugi, because my purpose is to learn, I will get the lesson, repeat the process, and will not commit the same mistake again. Because my primary purpose and objective is to learn how to make money. Because when you are learning making money, later on, madali na yung pera. Pero kapag ang purpose mo is to earn, pag nalugi ka, ayoko na. Back out na ako. Ayoko na. Hindi talaga ako tinawag sa negosyo. Talagang pang-empleyado lang ako. So you stop now. You will only considered defeated when you stop. But in the game of money, you cannot be considered as loser if you still continue. Sabi mo sa katabi mo, continue. That's winning. When you are suffering today because of losses na maraming nangyari sa inyo, you are on track. You are on the right journey. Get the lesson. Get the lesson. Get the lesson. Repeat the process. Wala kayong makikita ng mga super milyonaryo ngayon nang hindi bumagsak. I have lost a lot. But the thing is, I never stop. I only get the lesson. Sige, pakiclick nga. Old rules and the new rules. Sige, pakiclick. Look at this. The old rules, save. Tama? Tingnan nyo sa new rules. Sige, click. Spend. Don't save. If you have money today, pumunta ka sa new rules, sa old rules, itabi mo. No. Sa new rules, hindi. Gastusin mo. Saan? Sa isang bagay na magte-turn over ng cash sa'yo. Tingnan nyo, pag may pera kayo, bili kayo ng iPhone 7. How much is the iPhone 7? 100 plus? Ha? 117? iPhone 17. Pro Max. 100 plus, di ba? Biro mo, bibili ka, paglabas mo ng bilihan, hindi mo na maibebenta ng 100 plus yon. Paglabas pa lang, ha? Hinawakan mo pa lang, binalatan mo pa lang. Depreciated yung value. Gagamitin mo yan, magkakain pa ng cash mo yan. You have to put load on it, araw-araw, you have to charge it, so that it's our income. Ako, hindi ako bibili nun. Ang gagawin ko, ibibili ko yun ng stocks. Next month, double yung 100,000. Di ba? Limbo, bibili ko ng amplifier, bibili ko ng gitara, bibili ko ng whatever, na pwede kong doblehin ng kita. In the following month, yung 100 ko, 200,000 na. So I am enjoying now the benefit because I keep my money. I don't save it. I spend it. Ito maganda. Pag gusto kong bumili ng iPhone 17 Pro Max, I will let my asset buy my Pro Max. Hindi galing sa personal na pera ko. Ang bibili, yung asset ko. Ay anak, ito yung isa kong anak eh. So, may condition ng winning. Condition of winning is to know the rules and apply the rules. Di ba? Next. Sa old rules, aawayan ako ng mga kasama nating nasa insurance industry. Hindi ko sinabing masamang insurance, ha? Ang insurance is an outside force that will help us to accomplish our dreams. Pero do not put your future in there or else you will suffer. Sabi nila, diversify. Lagay mo sa trust fund, lagay mo sa ganito. Walang problema doon. Pero if I were to be asked, sasabihin ko, use muna on other that will make your money move and double. Kasi ganito yun eh, when you diversify your money and put it into financial plan, this is what happened. It looks like you bought a car that you do not know how to drive. Others are driving for you. They are the one enjoying the wheel, but not you. Pag naibunggo nila, sasabihin nila sa'yo, sorry. Because you are not in control. at ang nag-i-invest lang doon at para ilagay ang future nila for the rest of their life, mga bobo. Again, sinasabi ko, outside help yon. Ang tawag doon, makakatulong lang. But do not put your future in there. Tingnan nyo, you work, right? Saan nyo lalagay pera nyo? Insurance, hoping that insurance company. I have insurance. Bakit? Kailangan ko lang insured. If ever I died, if ever I get hospitalized, may magbabayad. Tama? But I bought more on insurance, but I'm not putting my whole money in there. Next, tingnan nyo sa new rules. Can you say, take control? Etong kagandahan. If you have put your money on asset, let's say you bought a real estate. May real estate ka. Meron kang pinapaupahan na mga bahay. Tingnan nyo o kaya Airbnb. Nagkaroon ng recession. Ano meaning na recession? Alam nyo ba kung ano meaning ng recession? The money isn't circulating anymore. Yung physical money, wala nang circulation. Wala kang pakialam doon. Bakit? Because you have a real estate that somebody is renting, pera, tuloy-tuloy. You will not be affected by that recession because your asset is the one giving you money. You got it? So you are in control of your own economy, not based on the economy of the nation that you are in right now. So make it sure that you build an asset that you are the one who is in control. Next. Watch out. Can we read this together? Financial ignorance is a component in keeping the poorer and being taken advantage of by the rich to become richer. Hanggat financially bobo tayo, the rich will always take advantage over us. At tayo nakangangalang. Tayo nakadepende lang sa ayuda. Alam nyo, may pastor na nag-text sa akin nung isang araw. Pastor, gusto mong ayuda galing sa AKAP? 8,500. Palaran mo lang yung pangalan mo, saka yung cellphone number mo, mabibigyan ka na. Alam mo kung ano sagot ko? Emoji na tumatawa. He, 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 he. Why? I don't want to be part of it. Alam ko naman na may historya ng korupsyon doon. LB, bakit ako magiging part nun? I can make 8,500 if I want. Ba't ako magiging part nun? Pag wala kang pera, laman tiyan din yan. Di ba? So, pupunta tayo sa para tapusin na natin ito. Nasang part na ba ako? Alright. So, 4 financial reasons that causes people to work hard and yet struggle financially. Ito yung mga 4 reasons. Taxes. Bakit yung tax? If you are employed, your paycheck already has taxes deducted. Tama? Before you receive it. This is unavoidable because your employer is authorized by the government to withhold these taxes. The remaining cash you have will then be used to pay bills and buy food, both of which includes additional embedded taxes in the form of VAT and EVAT. Tama? In this way, taxes continue to affect your money at multiple levels. Or multiple levels. Pag may 100,000 ka, yung 100,000 mo, bawasan na ng 30% kaagad, ay ng 20% kaagad yon. So, magkano ang matatanggap mo? 80,000. Tama? When you pay bills, when you buy food, when you buy groceries, when you go to McDonald's, lahat yon may corresponding EVAT. Ikaw ang nagbayad, hindi ang McDonald's. Hindi yung grocery. Ikaw ang nagbayad nun. Pinak nila yon with the price. They are just collecting it for you. So, when you invested it, pag yun ay nilagay mo sa time deposit, yung pera mo, yung kikitain nun, may another 20% tax. So, all moves that we have today has been taxed. That's why people are suffering. Ang tax natin sa Pilipinas is 32%. When I am a businessman and I earn 100,000, this is how I defeated the tax. Tingnan nyo. When I am a businessman, I have 100,000, gagastusin ko, at lahat nung gagastusin ko, may resibo. At tapos, pagdating ng pagbabayad ko ng tax, lahat ginastos ko na may resibo, expenses, ang mangyayari ngayon, ang matitira na lang doon, 10,000 pesos. Yung 10,000 pesos ang i-declare ko na taxable amount. So kahit kunan nila ng 30% yon, yung taxable amount ko, 10,000 times 30%, I will be taxing 3,000 pesos. Ikaw, 30,000 pesos ang tinax mo. Ako, 3,000. Kaya you cannot see business tycoons na nasa top 10 taxpayers in the Philippines. Because they defeated this battle. They know how to play by the rules. I am the one taking control of it. When I bought groceries, tingnan nyo when I bought groceries, I will pay it in my True Credit Card. After a month, bago dumating yung month, saka ko babayaran, tama? Pero no, who's paying my credit card? Who's paying the groceries? The bank. Tama? Babayaran ko sa bank ito. Ang gagawin ko ngayon, magbebenta ako ng aking produkto kay brother. Bibili siya ngayon. Kikita ako doon. Tama? Ibabayad ko sa bank ngayon. So who's the one paying my tax and my groceries? He is, not me. That's how you play with the game of money. Those who have better understanding wins. Utang. Number 2. There is significant factor contributing to financial hardship for many individuals. The failure to differentiate between good and bad debt often stems from a lack of financial literacy. In today's landscape, that has become a strategic instrument leveraged by financial institutions to their advantage within the broader economic system. Tignan mo, gusto nila tayong pautangin ng pautangin. Bakit? If you don't know how to differentiate the bad and the good utang, then you are in trouble. Tingnan mo, madalas gumawa ng good utang si Henry C. nung buhay pa siya. He owns BDO, right? He owns SM. Yung lahat ng deposito ng tao sa BDO, uutangin niya. Ipapatayo niya ng SMDC. Yung SMDC nasa nakapaligid, nasa gitna yung mall niya. Ibebenta niya yung lahat ng unit sa tao. Yung binayad ng tao, kumita na siya, ibabayad niya ngayon sa BDO. He is not spending a single centavo coming from his pocket using a good utang. Kayo, anong utang ang ginagamit niyo? Bad or good? And this is the major reason why we suffer financially. Another is inflation. Inflation is a significant factor that erodes the purchasing power of money. The government plays a crucial role in managing inflation. When government policies are effective, inflation tends to remain stable or even decrease. However, if government performance falters, inflation typically rises, creating increased financial challenges for many individuals. Happens. Kapag tumaas ang bilihin, iyak ka. Dati mamalengke ka ng 1,000, madami ka nang dala eh. Di ba? But because of the inflation, tumaas ang bilihin, yung 1,000 mo ngayon, 2 kilong isda na lang yon. Tama? Ngayon, pag hindi mo alam gumawa ng pera, magsesettle ka ngayon doon sa 1,000 kasi yun lang ang budget mo. Then the quality of your life, bababa. Pagtsatsagaan mo, pagtitiisan mo, ano na lang ang bibilhin ko? Di ba? Retirement is another way we struggle financially. Defined benefit plans provide employees with a guarantee or guaranteed lifetime paycheck from the company they serve. However, this largely been replaced by the defined contribution plans where retirees receive pensions based solely on the amount they contributed during their working years. Noong 1973 pababa, it is the company that you are serving who will give you a paycheck, a lifetime paycheck. Kung magkano ang sinusweldo mo, yun ang ibibigay sa iyo nung company na sinervan mo for the rest of your life until you die. Ang tawag doon, defined benefits. Pero nung 1973, tini-change yan from defined benefits to defined contribution. That you get the pension right now according to how much you contributed while you are working. Kaya hindi pare-pareho ang pensyon. May nagpe-pension ng 2,000, may nagpe-pension ng 5,000, at ang malalaki, 15,000, 16,000. Because your pension depends on how much you contributed. So if you are going to put your future in there, patay ka, kapatid. Ay. May 15,000 ka, sabihin na natin malaki ang contribution mo sa SSS. Pag tumanda ka, alisin mo yung 5,000 kaagad doon. Kasi maintenance yon. Pag tumatanda ka, maraming maintenance, di ba? Sa diabetes, sa dugo, sa high blood pressure, 5,000 tanggalin mo na kaagad doon. Magkano natira? 10,000. How much you gonna budget for your food? $5,000? 10,000. Ubus na. Tama? Paano yung ilaw? Paano yung communication? Paano yung pang... And this is the major reason why many pensioners today are losing, nakikitira sa siblings, nakikitira sa anak. wala silang financial independence. Because they never prepared. And I don't want you to be a victim of that. Then you say, do something. Next, financial security requires financial literacy. So kung gusto mo na ma-secured ka finances, kailangan mataas ang literacy mo. Financial education helps you to understand how money works and unlock your potential, to see abundance around you. Para makita mo na mayaman pala, kailangan magkaroon ka lang ng financial literacy. Mayaman pala ako. Kaya ko palang gumawa ng pera. I-unlock ko yung abundance na nakapaligid sa akin. Kailangan ko lang itaas yung level ng financial literacy ko. Marami ang hindi nakakakita nito. They work so hard daily. They go to the office. Nagpakandakuba. Halos mamatay na doon. But they do not see abundance around them. Pero iba yung mga matataas ang financial literacy. Pag nakita ka niya, alam niya kung paano siyang kikita sa iyo. Ang dami kong kausap na grabe ang tataas ng financial literacy nila, yung mga business people. Pag nakakausap ko sila, na-amaze ako. Sabi ko, actually, I get lesson. Alam niyo, yung may-ari ng ADESA, nung time na namatay yung nanay niya, during the pandemic, pasalamat talaga ako. Sinama ako ng asawa ko. Dumalaw kami. Dumating yung time. Wala kasing mga bisita noon eh. Kasi nga, pandemic, di ba? Nag-usap kami nung matanda, 2 oras. Sinamantala ko na. Tanong ako, lahat. Alam mo, Pastor, sabi niya, I started with selling. Alam mo kung anong tinitinda ko? Tinitinda ko yung tangke ng gasol. Ito, nakuha kong idea. Sabi niya sa akin, minsan binebenta ko ang stocks ko nang wala sa puhunan. Sabi ko, di lugi kayo. Sabi niya, sa tingin mo yon. Pero sa akin, hindi. Because I need to convert that stocks into a cold cash. Dahil kapag na-convert ko siya sa cold cash, mapapaikot ko at kaya kong bawiin doon sa mga susunod na mabebenta ko. Kasi kung marami akong stocks dyan, hindi yan cash. Stocks yan. So kailangan ko siyang ibenta ng mababa pa doon sa puhunan para maging cold cash. Biglang nabuksan yung, ganun pala. Ganun ang negosyo. May mga old stocks ka dyan na sa tingin mo, ibenta mo na ng 50%. Bakit? Kailangan mo siyang ma-turn into cash. Sabi ko, wow, what a brilliant idea. Galing, no? Lugi. Sa tingin mo, lugi ako. Hindi ako lugi. Dahil marami akong idea paano kong gagamitin. Mas marami akong magiging idea kapag na-turn ko into cash. Hanggat yan ay stocks na nandyan, hindi ko siya ma-turn into cash. Hindi ko ma-execute yung another idea ko. Tama nga naman siya. Kaya we separated, tuwan-tuwa ako yung 2 hours. I have learned a lot from him. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, dapat po may ano na kayo, may biology, ano na kayo, yung libro ninyo. Ay, biography pala, sorry. May biography na kayo kasi sabi ko, grabe yung ano ninyo. Grabe yung history niyo. It could be, sabi ko, could be an inspiring moment for people who started. Yung mga nag-uumpisa. Galing, no? If you are financially literate person, you will be able to see the abundance around you. Hindi pala mahirap kumita ng pera. Hindi pala mahirap. By learning the principle of finance, you can build assets, eliminate bad debt, and create multiple streams of income. Financial education shifts your mindset from simply surviving to thriving, unlocking your potential to achieve long-term financial security and independence. Whether you're just starting out or looking to improve your financial situation, gaining financial literacy is one of the most valuable investment you can make in yourself. What you do right now is financial education. Magkano? 1,000 ang kakainin nyo pa yan. May merienda pa kayo. May kape pa kayo. May manual pa kayo. It's not for me, it's for you. Because my very purpose is to help you guys change the mindset. Tandaan ninyo, yayaman kayo dahil sa ability na meron kayo na binigay ninyo. But you must pair your ability with financial intelligence so that you can turn it into a monetary value. Ayan, we'll end up in this. Important type of education, tapos mag-break tayo. Sige, pakiclick. Ha? Wala? Okay. So, important type of education, number 1, academics, number 2, professional, number 3 is financial. Are you there? Page 19. Academics. Academics provides foundation. The ability to read, write, solve basic math problems, and process information is crucial. So, kailangan nyo pa rin ng academics. Tama? This type of education provides a fundamental foundation. Without it, people would still be living as if in the Stone Age. Academics refer to a formal system of education and scholarly pursuits that enable individuals to acquire knowledge, develop critical thinking, and cultivate skill across various disciplines. But tandaan ninyo, these academics will not make you rich. It provides only the foundation. Number two type of education is professional. Professional education provides job security. At ang problema natin, dito tayo nag-focus. The ability to convert knowledge into income is a key aspect of professional education. It offers job security as long as an employee performs well, their position is protected, and salary increases often follow performance. Tama? This type of education helps individual to develop, refine, and enhance their innate skills or talents, enabling them to transform these abilities into a steady source of income. Ang tawag natin dyan ay yung tinatrabaho natin ngayon. So habang pinapagaling ko, dumadagdag din yung income ko. Pero nakalimutan ng marami yung financial education. They don't equip themselves in financial education. Financial education provides financial security. Academics, foundation, professional, job security, and then financial education is providing financial security. The ability to understand and process financial information, it enhances our financial intelligence. And as our financial intelligence grows, our capacity to generate income also increases. The size of your wisdom is also equal to the size of your income. This type of education equips individuals with the knowledge and skills necessary to make informed financial decisions, leading to a better financial stability and wealth accumulation. Without financial education, a person cannot translate information into a tangible value. Information without comprehension holds limited worth. So tingnan nyo, bakit konti lang ang kinikita natin? It is because we cannot truly process the right information in the area of money. We do not even know what bullish is, what bearish is. Mamaya yan, doon sa money language, babanggitin natin. So we'll have a short break and have some coffee, health break, and then we will go next sa susunod nating topic. Brother Joey? I'm sorry, I didn't follow the program kasi our Papang Bishop is needs prayer. No? Ipanalangin po ninyo. He is admitted to the hospital in La Union, Bishop Junterlit. Meron siyang na-cardiac arrest siya kaninang madaling araw. So, after this, we will proceed there. Kaya hindi na ako sumunod, dinire-diretso ko na. Alright, so mamaya po we'll follow another. So, Brother Joey, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pastor Ricky. Palakpakan po natin ang ating speaker. We will now have our medyo maaga yung ating lunch break. And for the time being, habang nagre-ready, we'll just, okay. Is it 5 minutes break? At habang nire-ready po yung ating lunch, everyone, sige po, let's have our health break. May gustong mag-CR or magbanyo, then we have still our unlimited coffee po.